Hey everyone, Jonathan Blackwood here from Commercial Integrator. Welcome to another Three Questions video interview. Today we are very lucky to be joined by Sandi Stambaugh, Senior Vice President of Product Management at Synnex. Sandi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's so great to have you on, and we're going to be talking a lot about the ProAV industry and talent because we just had our 40 under 40 list come out, and Synnex was very generous to sponsor this year's 40 under 40 class. So right off the bat, ProAV has long had a bit of a problem in terms of talent. How do we get young people excited about the AV industry and attract new talent in?
Yeah, I think that, this is something that we're definitely focused on is recruiting new talent, kind of the up and comers. Getting started early is so important. Programs like robotics, which actually Synnex is a big fan of and sponsors, and especially in our Canadian market, robotics and STEM programs and things like, that we're really excited about, like esports and gaming is certainly helping, I think, a little bit as well. And then, Synnex specifically, things that we do around career days and university involvement. We have an internship program where, we have interns from actually across the country that join us through the summer and then sometimes in the winter as well, getting engaged, just trying to expose them as much as possible to technology as a whole and certainly the AV industry and how they can get involved.
Yeah, and that's great, and all those programs are very helpful, but getting them in and then retaining them are two different questions. So once we do have young talent in the organization, what can we do to help them grow and become the leaders of tomorrow?
Yeah, I agree. Getting them in is one thing, but certainly need to focus on really deliberately, developing them along the way, right? So obviously initial training, having a plan for that, leveraging associations like AVIXA or DSF or even CompTIA on the networking side, IMCCA and other associations that have comprehensive, support programs in place for training. Things like development planning, I think is really important for the younger folks that are joining us in the industry. But there's great tools out there, LMS platforms like LinkedIn Learning, and then again at Synnex we have what we call our discovery program, and so hiring new talent early, getting them in, giving them an opportunity to rotate through different types of roles so they can really not just enter the industry, but also make sure that their strengths are aligned with the responsibilities that they take on. And then, specific to our integrators and helping support our integrators, with that development, we do have an LMS platform that we've built out for our partners that does track and report on training. We have something we call Varnex University, which is also all about not just technology training, but also things like sales skills, technical skills, and those types of things put on by our engineers, just to help our partners as they're trying to make sure that they are supporting that new talent. The other thing that we think is super critical at Synnex is mentor programs. So mentoring not just within a peer group, but also outside of that peer group, really helping them map out a path on where they want to head and make sure that they've got the right resources aligned with them as they've got questions and that type of thing. And then I guess maybe the last thing that we think is really important is employee resource groups. So giving our people an opportunity and giving folks an opportunity to align within an employee resource group around a certain topic or a certain, we've got a women's resource group, including diversity and inclusion and those types of things. It's very important that you have a meaningful and deliberate focus around that.
Well, another program that I know is very prevalent in the industry is NSCA's Ignite initiative, which Synnex is involved with. Can you tell us a little bit about the company's involvement and some of the things that are happening with Ignite?
Sure. Yeah, I love the passion that just NSCA brings to the industry, and then certainly as it comes to supporting the industry and recruiting talent and developing that talent. And so, early on, we definitely jumped in with the NSCA or with our friends at NSCA and wanted to support the effort. So, we obviously financially support, but also even get engaged with, the program that we've got coming up with in P2P. We've got an event with local YMCA members trying to, again, just encourage interest in the AV space. They've also got things things like training programs, a webinar series for that ongoing development, and then scholarship programs in place as well that Synnex certainly supports. So really excited about what Ignite's trying to do for the industry, and definitely coming alongside them to help support them in any way we can.
Yeah, very cool stuff. And you mentioned a moment ago that Synnex has a lot of programs and a lot of different offerings for integrators. So if anyone in the audience wants to learn more about Synnex, how can they reach out, or how can they find out more about the company?
Sure, absolutely. So the best way is reaching out to us by email at visualsolve@synnex.com, or to me directly at sands@synnex.com.
All right, great. Well, Sandi Stambaugh of Synnex, thank you so much for joining us for 3 questions today.
Of course. Thanks so much. Good to see you.